Alright guys, how's it going? It's Jared Genesis here. So, today we're going to talk about the alt-right. The alt-right is alright. That's what a lot of alt-righters or alt-right supporters have to say. The alt-right is always right. I don't know, they like to use night brights, night lights at night. I don't know, but let's talk about the alt-right. There is also the alt-light. We'll get into that in a minute. But so we'll start with this: the presidential election of what was it now? Gosh, 2016. When President Trump won the election, utter chaos. You had crying liberals, crazy crying liberals, and you had this new alt-right pop up. They pretty much, I would say, spawned from Trump's election, although that is debatable. But I really started hearing a lot about them after Trump got elected. And these people popped up, and they were basically the polar opposite of liberals. Now, some of you guys, you may think that I'm going to call these people Nazis, and, they think it's all about the bagel eaters, rhymes with Pew. I don't think they're necessarily like that. I mean, really, it's the actual neo-Nazis who believe that. And most Nazis don't even, if you live in the Deep South, you'll know that most Nazis do not support a lot of the stuff that the alt-right stands for. Most Nazis are very, very, very conservative in values and Christian, believe it or not. So let's get into that. A lot of the alt-right doesn't seem to be Christian to me. It seems like a trendy new wave movement, of Gnostic people, whatever you want to call them. Atheists, not just atheists though, but what they call agnostic. And when I hear words like that, I think of independent, and liberal too, but not just liberal, but what am I trying to say here? That the alt-right, it's not that right. Do you understand? It's not in terms of left and right, they aren't that right. I would consider the alt-right to be independent, in the middle, maybe even a little bit more to the left. I just don't really see them as that Republican. But, people can debate that with me, and that's fine. But there are even alt-right people who aren't capitalists, believe it or not. You have alt-right socialists, collectivists especially. So, guys, you have to understand that just because it has the word right in the name, they're not that right. They're not that Republican, bro. I'm just saying. But that's debatable. If you want to debate me, come at me, bro. I'll 1v1 you in Call of Duty. Not real life, because you probably kick my ass. But anyways, no, but seriously. Listen, I don't hate the alt-right, okay? I don't think that they're evil Nazis, who blame everything on Islamists and the bagel eaters. I say bagel eaters because I'm afraid that I will get my channel banned if I say otherwise. But I just think that they're kind of hateful people. And like I said, they are the exact opposite of the left. The left is all about, I saw one comment actually which kind of made me laugh, that the left is, what was it? The left is stupid and the alt-right are just crazy. I mean, listen, I wasn't going to bring this up. Actually, I was. I gotta talk about this, man. Let's discuss something that's not going to get me in trouble at all with my trolls. 4chan. 4chan is pretty much the dwelling place of most alt-righters. I personally can't stand 4chan. To me, it's a website that encourages stuff like racism and hate and bigotry because there's no rules. Whether it's any little different class in 4chan or even 8chan, which I'm pretty sure, I don't know 100% about 8chan, but I know in 4chan, you can say whatever the hell you want. You can make whatever thread you want, and you have no repercussions. Mindfuck. I mean, that's the only website I can think of where you can do that. And some people may say, well, that's a good thing because, you got them people who just got to They just kind of type it, because that way they don't go shooty. So just type it. That's so stupid, because people troll everywhere anyways. I mean, seriously, most trolls are crazy. They have like 10 different or 20 different troll accounts. And, if they want to troll something, they'll troll it to death. Because believe me, a lot of these people have no life at all. And I know, because I have trolls myself, and these people are just sad. I really feel sorry for them. But, yeah, 4chan. If you visit 4chan, you'll understand why the alt-right is kind of crazy, and how they are sort of like, the exact opposites of, when I say the exact opposites of liberals, I mean that, like, they're still crazy, but they just complain about opposite things. They're extremists. That's basically what the alt-right is. And when you have any sort of extremist in anything, it's just asking for trouble. I mean, but really, all in all, I think the alt-right is just a trendy thing. I think it'll come and go. There was a guy who made a video about the alt-right. I forget his name, but I'll link it in the description. It was interesting, and I did agree with a few of his points. But I don't like labels. I'm not a person that really believes in labels. But I mean, if I had to label myself, I guess an anarchist, even though that word doesn't mean anything these days. Because a lot of Antifa claim to be anarchists, and yet, they're just like all communists. It's retarded. But, Christian anarchists, I guess. Christian anarchists are the smallest group, like the tiniest group of people you'll ever meet is the Christian anarchist. There's a site called Vine and Fig Tree that I learned about decades ago, and I was pretty impressed about. Well, maybe not decades, but a long ass time ago. And I strongly believe in my heart that Jesus Christ was an actual anarchist. And there are quotes that can even prove this. I would say the best anarchist Bible quote is probably Ephesians 6:12. Some of you may be familiar with it. Our struggle is not of flesh and blood, but with the principalities, the powers that be. It's one of the most profound Bible quotes I know of. And I strongly believe in my heart that Jesus Christ was an actual anarchist. And, you do have some quotes that people debate that he wasn't, like Romans 13 about, what was it? Give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar. But see, I think that Jesus was basically just being sort of pacifistic in that realm. It's not like he was saying he encourages, dictatorships and things like that. He was just basically saying, to keep Caesar from killing us, just give him what he wants, because we don't need to start unnecessary wars. But I totally believe that Jesus Christ was an anarchist, and there is a very small group of people in the world who would agree with me. So I just thought I'd share that interesting fact with you guys. But yeah, really, I hate labels. I hate, big, corporations, stuff like that. And I know some people may say, well, you are somewhat liberal then. And maybe they are right to say that. Maybe they are. I mean, I'm certainly not a conservative, because conservatism is all about big business. But it's funny, though, if I had to choose a political ideology, because I know anarchism, I guess, doesn't really count on that. But I guess I would choose conservatism, mostly because I'm Christian. And I don't agree with stuff like, abortion and gay marriage. But people can do what they want to do. It's not like a political party is going to stop them from it. And that's the funny thing, how a lot of Christians think that matters, If the president outlaws abortion, there's just going to be people that, get it in other ways or do it in other ways. And more women will be taking birth control pills, which cause cancer, and that's not a good thing either. So, it's a lose-lose situation. As far as gay people, gay rights goes, people are still... Gays don't even care about marriage, so that's the funny thing. It's like, you ask any gay person, they don't give a shit about marriage. They just, really gays, they just, they like to hump around. I'm just going to be honest. They're kind of like bunnies. And I don't mean that as an insult, but they don't stay in marriages. Statistically, if you look at the stats, it's non-existent. They're all about, rights. They just want to feel entitled, basically. But look, I didn't mean to make this a hate video, but I just wanted to say, though, that I am not a fan of the alt-right, and, I think that there are some very entitled, spoiled people within that party who just, honestly, I feel just want attention, and, are very hateful people. So I certainly do not connect with it. But when it first came on the scene, I will admit, I did think it was kind of cool, because you had, Gavin McInnes and his, what was it, Proud Boys movement. The Proud Boys causing trouble on the streets, stealing liberals' lunch money and stuff like that. It's just kind of funny because, I don't know, the Proud Boys are just like, they look like skinheads. They wear their Fred Perrys and the bald heads, and it's just kind of like a rip-off of a skinhead. And if you think about it, I mean, that does kind of make you scratch your head, like, why are they imitating skinheads, and yet, they don't claim to be Nazis. See, I grew up with punk rock music, and I always thought skinheads were hilarious, especially the new age skinheads, because they claimed that they weren't racist, and yet, they were from the same ideology, the same look and culture, and yet they just went polar opposite. Like, yeah, we're not racist anymore. You guys can like us, And I just thought that was so stupid, honestly, and. I think a lot of skinhead music kind of sucks too, quite honestly. If you compare it to like other punk rock bands, there's some good stuff out there, but I do like the patriotism in skinhead music, because you don't find a lot of that in punk rock. So I do like that aspect. You got some bands. I'm trying to think of names. What is the fucking names of these people? Evil Conduct, I do kind of like them. There was a band that, what's his fucking name? Lars Frederiksen from Rancid was in, I thought was pretty good. But for the most part, I prefer punk rock music over skinhead. I mean, any day. I'm just not really a huge fan of that. As far as the Proud Boys movement goes, I mean... I don't think, like, looking back on it, like, they were just causing unnecessary trouble. Like, do not go to a liberal protest. There's no reason to go. You're going to have, somebody mace you. You're going to have these psychotic liberals, get in your face. And nothing good is going to come out of it. If they want to throw their little tantrum, weird, questionable... party, then just let them do it by themselves. You don't need to attend. It's just going to cause more trouble. And that's why I think it's so hilarious, when you have stuff like InfoWars and you have their crew go out. I mean, it's entertaining as hell. Like, don't get me wrong. It's so entertaining to watch. But it's like, dude, that one guy, Owen Schroyer, he looks just like, and he talks and he looks just like fucking John F. Kennedy. It's amazing. But he'll go out there on the streets and, talking to liberals, asking them these questions. It's like, what the hell do you expect, man? You really think they're going to be nice? Do you really think you're going to have a civil debate with these lunatics? I mean, come on, dude. Come to your senses here. It's just ridiculous. Anyways, guys, that's pretty much all I got for you on the alt-right. I don't hate these people. I just find a lot of them kind of sad. And quite honestly, I think a lot of them are just like sexually frustrated virgins, especially the 4chan, alt-righters, because 4chan, there's a name for them. They're called the weaponized autists for a reason. Anyways, guys, peace.